Barth joined by, I don't recognize this guy. Look at that stash. Sam Burns, what's going on?
Well, clearly in this quarantine, you can tell what I've been doing. Just been working on my facial hair. I figured if the time is now. So,
well, I absolutely love it. And we are excited to have you on the Callaway Golf Podcast. We already have a ton of questions coming in already. So we're going to get to all your questions for Sam. Of course, the Callaway Golf Podcast, we'd love you to subscribe, rate, review. Do you subscribe to it, Sam?
Absolutely.
Okay, good. So if Sam subscribes to it, you should too. All right, let's get right into it. Question number one, and this was asked 11 times by this person. This is from Matt in the Orange County area. How do you think Joe Burrow is going to fare for Cincinnati? Matt's a troubled Cincinnati Bengals fan. Let's just lead with the heavy artillery right away.
Yeah, I mean, if he does anything like he did this past year, I think Cincinnati will be in good shape. Hopefully they'll be able to kind of open up their offense and let him, do what he does best. And clearly, he's capable of a lot. So I'm hopeful. I think he'll have a great career.
All right. Can you confirm that you're not wearing a Bengals hat right now?
I'm not wearing a Bengals hat, Odyssey.
Oh, that's Odyssey. All right. Number one putter in golf. That makes a lot more sense.
All right.
We'll get to a lot more LSU questions. We were just joking about the fact the only benefit to college football not coming back is you'd stay the national champions a little bit longer.
That's right. That's right.
With that team coming back that you have, I'm not too worried about that. There are some crazy, crazy good players. I love your wide receiver, and I'm excited to see him in 2021 join the Miami Dolphins and catch passes from Tua, who will end up outperforming your guy Burrow. But we'll save that for another day.
Easy.
All right. I want to talk to you about when you started to realize how long a hitter you were. Because every time we work with you, I remember last time I saw you, I think was at Riv, and we were standing to the right of, 13? And everybody was hitting balls kind of in the same area. Some were kind of hitting us in the trees a little bit. And then there was a ball that just flew way past where all the balls were all day. And sure enough, we look and there's Sam Burns walking to his tee shot. When did you first learn how long a hitter you were, and how do you develop that?
Yeah, I don't know. I think, as a kid, I always thought I hit it pretty far. I didn't really know. And then really, I guess, playing at Square Creek, I was playing with somebody, Kyle Williams, who played for the Buffalo Bills for a long time. We played a lot, and he made a comment not too long ago. He said, whenever you left for college and then came back, it was all of a sudden like you were hitting it 20 or 30 yards further. And I said, well, I didn't really realize that at the time, I guess. And then if you kind of look at, if you go back and kind of look at my stats, you could really tell that they kind of amped up a little bit. I was playing golf with Carter Toms and David Toms a couple weeks ago. We were social distancing, if anybody's wondering. But Carter always gets upset now because he said in high school that we always treated about the same. And the other day I was pumping it past him, and he didn't like that very much. No,
I wouldn't think so. But it's got to be fun to be able to play with some of the best players in the world and know on the tee that you're just going to bomb it right by them. You kind of the one that everyone kind of talks about as sort of when they first kind of got to know you was when you got paired with that guy who lives down in Jupiter. He's won a few majors, Tiger, down at the Honda, and you bombed one by him, and you walked up to him, and let's just tell the story for people who don't know. You kind of put your arm around him. What did you say to Tiger?
Yeah, off the first tee there, I was just trying to kind of break the ice. I was as nervous as I could be. So I put my arm around. I said, "Man, it's crazy all these people came out to watch me today, huh?" And he laughed, and so that's all I was trying to do, just get him to laugh, kind of lighten the mood a little bit. But that was a special day.
Yeah, but hitting the ball past Tiger Woods off a tee, I mean, that's like what dreams are. Everyone dreams about that. You did it.
Yeah, I probably had a little more adrenaline going than he did, but
yeah. All right, we got. All right, Daniel Walker wants to know: Do you dye the mustache, or is this all natural?
I can't let my secrets out about the mustache. It's top secret, but I've been working hard on it. I'll just say that.
All right, can we expect to see it when the tour returns, or is this a quarantine only thing and it'll be gone before week one, or you don't know yet?
I don't know yet. We'll see.
All right. Well, we want to hear from you guys who are watching this. Maybe I don't know, Jen, if you can do a poll on one of these channels. But if you can, let's put a poll up there. Should Sam keep the mustache when he returns to PGA Tour play? All right, let's go through some other questions. This one is from our good friend Ethan, who is bypassing all the social media ways to do it, and he's texting me the question. If you played sports video games as a kid, who was your go-to player to play as, or did you create your own player? And if so, what were his traits?
Yeah, so, being a Saints fan, if I did a dynasty, it was with the Saints or LSU when college football was still around. But, I definitely would create players, and if I did, it was a quarterback who was about 6'6", 280, and ran about a 4.2. I don't really know what my goal was there because it wasn't really fair, but it was pretty much I had Superman as a quarterback, but it's fun.
I love it. And then Ethan's follow-up question is, if you can pick a non-golf physical talent ability to have, what would it be? Like dunking a basketball, do a standing backflip, run a sub 5 minute, I would even say 4 minute mile, shoot like 75% Steph does from three. Like what would your non-golf athletic talent be if you could have one?
If you could shoot 75% from three, that'd be pretty nice. I may have to go with that one.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one.
You could win a lot of bets with that one.
All right, and then Ethan's last question, which he didn't ask but he really wanted to, is if you were a competitive eater, what would be the food you would competitive eat?
I think I'd have to go to the hot dog contest to go.
Nice. I like that. We should do that at one of our Callaway ad shoots, is maybe bring our buddy Joe House, who is a world-class eater, and have you guys kind of square off against him. All right. Eric, favorite stop on the PGA Tour schedule?
Favorite stop. I really like RBC Heritage. I love that area. And usually we always get, pretty nice weather there, for last year at least. And also got engaged and married around that area. So I guess it's
good
special
answer.
to me, but yeah, I have to get some brownie points for that one.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's a really good golf course too. So I just love everything about it.
It's ironic though, because obviously that's one of the shorter golf courses on tour, and with all those trees, that kind of takes one of your biggest weapons out of your hand. So how do you get around Harbortown? Do you kind of sting it with 2 irons, or what do you do?
Yeah, I try to take advantage of the holes that you can hit driver on, but at the golf course I grew up on, East Ridge in Shreveport, Louisiana, it was a tight tree line golf course like that. And so I think just kind of growing up, I'm used to seeing that a little bit, and maybe it just feels like home.
Makes total sense. All right. Corey wants to know, do you tinker with your clubs once you get something dialed, or does it stay in the bag for a while?
For me, I'm always, I like to find something I like and keep it for a while. I think there's certain areas where you kind of tinker and see if you can find something better. But once I find something I really like, I tend to hold on to it for a long time.
All right. Johnny wants to know, got to ask, what has been your go-to quarantine meal?
Go-to quarantine meal. Oh, man, that's tough, especially with the restaurants being closed. But I like to grill, so grill some steaks. I think that's
nice.
Always a good one to go to. What else? There's a local like a craft beer and pizza place that make a really good pizza. So we'll try to do that every now and then, but it's more of a treat.
Yeah, for sure. We did some amazing steaks the other day around here. All right. Peter William wants to know, have you been watching the Michael Jordan documentary Last Dance? And if so, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts? I'm like so into it. I've watched every second.
Oh my gosh. It's hard for me to wait another week. It's incredible. I just, for me, I didn't get to see him play growing up, kind of like I have LeBron or Kobe. Just the things that he did, and just, how intense he was every day, and his willing, drive to get better. It's really cool to see.
Yeah, I remember, because I'm way older than you, but the Miami Heat started when I was, I think, junior high or just about getting into high school. And it was probably when I was a sophomore in high school. My mom got tickets for when the Bulls came into town, and we got there super early. And I mean, the Heat were awful at that point. We had like Sherman Douglas, Ronnie Cycli, like Rory Sparrow. And it's funny. So when I'm watching this documentary, all I'm waiting for is to see the Heat guys get dunked on. And I saw one where Michael abused Alonzo Mourning the other day.
Mm-hmm.
But the Bulls came into town, and remember, there's no social media. Like the best thing you had going for you was like the 6 o'clock and the 11 o'clock Sports Center to see what happened in the rest of the world. And these guys came in for warmups in the layups line, and like the arena was packed, and it was just like it's like, you know, now you can sit at home and online on your phone, you can watch the guys warm up and do the whole routine. But it was so different and so unique. What's been your favorite about the doc so far? What's something you learned about Michael you didn't know?
Yeah, I just think, you know, watching him, just how dedicated he was to his craft. And just like you would see how routine he makes those shots look, and it's just like these fadeaways he's hitting there, just cash every time. It's incredible. And it's like, I was talking to somebody about it the other day, you know, whenever he would go up for a jump shot, it was almost like he was floating. He would wait until the other guy was going down, and then he would take the shot. And it's obviously everybody who's seen this knows, but it's incredible.
Yeah, and this documentary obviously is at the end of his career. He evolved so much from early in the career where he attacked the basket all the time. Where I thought was so interesting, and I wish they would have spent even more time, was his time at North Carolina. Because, you know, that's where I think the foundation of, like, when you watch this last episode, and spoiler alert, he passed the ball to Paxson a lot. But he learned that at North Carolina, because that's how he received, in New Orleans, that jump shot to beat Georgetown was the better players. It doesn't matter. You always hit the open teammate and trust they're going to do their job. All right, we got a question from Hunter Battles. What's LSU's chances against Bama next year? I would assume, A, you know Hunter, and B, now that Tua is gone, because he's going to lead my Dolphins to greatness, it's probably got better.
Well, Hunter, we actually watched that game together, so he had to experience the agony of me letting him know that we beat them. But yeah, I think it's going to be tough next year. At least we have them at home, so we got that going for us. But maybe, you know, the tide's turning now for the Tigers, and it won't be the little brother to Alabama anymore.
Yeah, that's literally, just put that on the calendar. All right, the updated poll so far, 50% of the people are saying no. 43% are saying yes. Should Sam keep the mustache? That poll's only available on Facebook. So if you get a chance to go over there and vote, we'd like to hear. What about hunting? Is that something you've been able to do during it'd be a social distance sport, right?
I have, yeah. My in-laws have some land in Alabama that I've gone turkey hunting on a little bit, and yeah, I've just recently gotten into it. I absolutely love it. So that's been really fun. And then we have some land around here that I've gone a couple times, but it's awesome. I really enjoy it.
All right, Josh wants to know, have you been working on a particular part of your game during this time off? It's interesting because, you know, tour pros don't really get an off season, and now you guys sort of have one. And even when they announce, you know, the date, they're in theory going to confirm it like a month out, so you guys can really start ramping up, especially those who live in areas where they can't play. But have you been taking a particular part of your game and kind of trying to improve it, or have you just been playing to maintain?
Yeah, I think, I have been for sure. Just during this time of kind of uncertainty with our schedule, just trying to find some structure of practice and things that I can work on to improve. And I think an area that for me is my wedges. It's always something I'm trying to get better at, but especially right now with all this time, just to kind of try to dial those in as best as possible. And so that's probably what I've been working on the most.
All right. If you weren't a golfer, what would you be doing career-wise? Maybe like facial grooming? Would that be like sort of the main career? Or
I don't know about that. Wasn't a golfer. Well, I always wanted to be a professional athlete, but I guess once I realized that football probably wasn't going to pan out for me, I turned to golf. So I guess if I could choose something, maybe it would be something in sports. Hopefully an athlete, but sports is a passion of mine, so hopefully something involved in sports.
It's interesting, when we asked Xander that question probably about 6 weeks ago, he actually went into the whole physio part of it. He said he's just so fascinated by what he's learned from the different, whether it's the tour van guys and how they prep you guys, stretch and whatever. And he said he's like so fascinated by it that he's really kind of taken an interest in that. Is that something that you've learned to appreciate more?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think, it kind of comes down to, okay, so A, what's the problem? And B, how can we fix that through certain exercises or treatment? and it's really interesting because there's, everybody has kind of a different opinion about those sort of things. And so, I have a guy back home and a guy who's on the road, that are similar in their methods. And so it really is neat to watch them kind of go to work and process the different injuries or feelings and see how they can make it better.
All right, so staying with the barbershop motif, tell me the story about shaving your head when you hit into another group when you were kind of as a kid, not really sure how far you could hit the ball.
Well, so at my home club, Eastridge, I don't know how old I was, but I remember I was playing with some older guys, some teenagers, and I think I was maybe like 10 or 11. So we were on the green, and there was a gentleman behind us, and he started yelling at us to get out of the way. He wanted to go through. So I was like, all right, whatever. So we kind of moved to the side, and he hits it in the water. So smart guy I am at 11 years old. I yelled back, we weren't staying in the water. How were we in your way? He didn't appreciate that very much, which I can see how. So he came up there, kind of let me have it, and told our golf pro. So I had the bright idea that I would change my appearance. So went home.
And you couldn't grow a mustache then?
Couldn't grow a mustache at 11, no. So I just decided to shave my head, put my contacts in, and I was like, all right, I'm ready to go back to the golf course. I really thought that no one would recognize me after that, but it didn't work out too well. And
didn't work out too well.
So,
yeah, but the guy hit in the water. I never understand this.
Yeah, I know.
Like, if you're gonna go and play, and you're in that much of a hurry, like,
what's the point of doing
I get it
there?
if you guys were playing slow. Yeah, like I don't get the whole idea of, like, especially now that we haven't been able to play. I don't get the idea of racing around in like 2.5 hours, and the minute you get out there looking at your watch going, oh, get these people out of the way. Like, I can't wait to get on a golf course and sit there for hours and hours.
Yeah, I mean, if you got a couple hours to spare, maybe just practice a little bit.
Yeah, like, and if you can't, or play 9. And if you can't, if you can't avoid, like, if you're going to play through someone, you always have to play the fairway finder safe shot. You can't take any chance of hitting it in the water or something like that.
Right.
Yeah, so you mean you should be in charge of golf.
Yeah.
All right. Rick wants to know, what do you remember from your win in Savannah? What was clicking that week? 3 consecutive 65s to close it out was impressive, according to Rick and everyone else.
Yeah, I remember, I've been playing really well in the first round, just kind of a stagnant start, even par. Just kind of didn't really get much going. I can remember, so we got done that day, and I'd shot even. I think the leader had shot like 6 or 7 under after the first round. So we're walking to the car. I was with my dad, and we saw the leader over there getting interviewed. And I think my brother made a joke about, hey, you think they want to interview you? And my dad goes, even par, get in the car. So we all kind of, that's a running joke. Yeah, I remember, I still felt like I was in a good spot, and I shot a couple of consecutive 65s. I don't know, just something clicked, I guess. Just kind of, once you got some momentum going, I just put myself in a good spot. And then I remember coming down the stretch, there's a drivable par 4. I had a really good driver on the green to 15 or 20 feet. Put it up there, made a birdie. A couple holes later, I think it was 17, the par 3. I knew I needed to make at least one birdie. 18 was a par 5. But I hit this iron shot in there, and it's kind of fallen to the right, and there's a bunker on the right side of the green. The pin was kind of front right, and it hits like just off the edge of the bunker and kicks it right behind the hole to like 4 feet, and I ended up making it. And so when that happened, usually there's something like that that you need, and so that happened, and hit a really good tee shot on 18, hit a 5-iron to maybe 40 or 50 feet, and 2-putted it to win. But yeah, there's always something like that when you win that you need to happen, and for that was me for on 17.
I'm fascinated by how golfers, and not just when you win, you guys remember every shot, every break, the yardage, the club. Like, I think we're going to do a game show where we get like 6 or 7 of you guys, and it's called Tell Us the Details About That Shot, and we'll get the shot linked at it, and we'll see how accurate you were. And I think you guys are going to beat Shot Link. Yeah.
I think I shot 30 that day on the back 9.
30 that day on the back line. Come on, Rick. Why wasn't that in the question? He was impressed with 65, but if you go 35, 30, you gotta lean on that 30, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Hey, a couple other podcasts that everyone should be checking out is Fitting Room. The guys had Dylan Fratelli on this week. You ever play any rounds with Dylan?
I have. Yeah. I have.
Yeah, he kind of broke down. He's one of the main triple track disciples out there on tour with both the putter and the ball. So he joined Nate and Dave talked about that. And then tomorrow, Lex and Sarah and the Girls in Golf podcast are recording with Magdalene Sagstrom. She won earlier this year on the LPGA Tour. So we want people to check that out. And then later this week, tell me how you think this one's going to go. On Thursday morning, we have Colt Knost and Kelly Kraft.
Oh boy! Anytime Colt's involved, it'll be entertaining for sure.
Yeah, I'm just going to literally sit there and say, "Hi guys, have at it," and I'll just sit there,
Let
kick
him
my
go.
feet
Yeah.
up, hang out low, and then I'll say later, "Thanks for listening."
Yep, Colt can hold court.
Yeah, for sure. All right, the updated stats: 57% are saying no to the mustache. I don't get it. I mean,
I think
why the hate
on
people?
there. I think my wife must be on there clicking no like 5
She doesn't
times.
like it.
She's not for it.
Oh, really? All right. Well, that gives us our answer as to what's going to happen. Next question from Ryan: advice for junior golfers looking to play college golf, how to position yourself to get noticed besides the top of the leaderboard. That's the obvious one.
Yeah, that's a good question. I guess I'd have to just kind of go off past experience. For me, I think it was just a challenge to see how good I could get, and just kind of push myself. Growing up, my parents never pushed me to practice or encouraged me to practice. It was always something that I kind of wanted to do, and I think you have to find that inner drive and inner want of getting better. And so, that looks different for everybody, but for me, it was just, trying to work as hard as I could. And if there was somebody on the putting green, I would never leave until they left. It was like some kind of, I don't know what it was, but I just didn't want to leave. I didn't want to stop practicing until they did. So I guess there's little stuff like that where I just try to find an edge of getting better.
All right. I kind of feel like these that are coming in now are like all your friends who could just text you this, but instead they're going through me.
Yeah.
Eric Gibbs, who's your favorite person to take money off at Squire?
Gibbs and I play some golf over at Squire. Favorite person? Man, it's a good one. So many to choose from, But I don't know. I definitely have some good games out there. Derek Busby is a good player out there I play with. Kyle, I play a good bit with Kyle Williams. Gibbs is a good player. Nolan Timon, one of my buddies, I play with a lot out there. So we all have some good games. I don't know if there's one person I like taking more money off of than the other. It all spends the same. But yeah, we get some good games going.
Is that one of the keys to staying sharp in kind of this quarantine period? Because the thing that I wonder about is look, you guys aren't going to come out there after a couple week warm up and be hacking it all around the place, but it's the competitiveness, right? How do you put yourself in pressure? So is that a way to simulate pressure?
Yeah, for sure. Some of those guys I have to give shots to, and I just know that I'm gonna have to play really well if I want a chance. So just kind of knowing that, knowing I have to go out there and make a bunch of birdies, it keeps me kind of competitive and the same sort of atmosphere as playing in a tournament.
What's the most shots you've had to give in one of these games?
I gave Nolan 12 yesterday, and that was a disaster. He's like a scratch. He's a scratch, but somehow he talked me into giving him 12. I don't know how. Of course he did, but I did not win that one.
No.
But I give Brad Pullen, my coach, 8, and that's usually a pretty competitive game. He's going to shoot around even par typically. So
a guy who needs more strokes on the golf course. You're going to see it this Friday. We have a vlog coming out. We have Kyle Berkshire, the world long drive champ. Brandon Grace, the PGA Tour winner. He won at Harbour Town as well. Speaking of Harbour Town earlier, and Matt Browning played. I don't know if he played. He was there. He was the third participant in this vlog. You'll be able to see that this week. But what was really cool about it was taking advantage of Kyle's prodigious length. Is whoever won the hole got to set up the next hole. So we were on the Valley course, and basically we would hit from place to different place.
Yeah.
And Matt learned a very valuable lesson that not all golf balls float. So you can see that on Friday on CallawayGolf.com. Really kind of fun vlog. How many strokes would you think they would need in a 3-hole match against you?
Who's that?
Matt Browning from our social team, who you know.
3 holes?
Yeah, 3 holes. How many strokes?
I'd give him a shot a hole if we're
Okay.
playing stroke play.
I would bet my money on you on that one. If it's only 1 stroke a hole, I think it needs to be 1.5 or something, or he gets to play maybe 2 and gets to play the better ball.
That's fair.
Talk to me something about pro-am, something that hopefully will return when the tour goes back to normal. Who knows? But what are some of the things you see in pro-ams that you just wish you could talk to the amateurs about and help them so they would get better? Asking for a friend.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say the most common thing is you see the over-the-top move from high handicap guys. That's the main thing. It's just that these guys get aiming so far left, just trying to play their slice. So it's difficult to see that, but it's tough to try to give them a lesson while you're out there playing a pro-am at the same time. But they're fun. We try to make them enjoyable for those guys, and just try to learn as much as we can about them, and just try to enjoy the day.
Yeah, and back in the day, that was sort of the foundation of the PGA Tour, right? Because the people who played in the pro-ams became the title sponsors of the events that really kind of kept everything going. So, and plus, what's cooler than the day before a tournament starts to be able to, walk 9 holes or 18 holes, depending if you guys flip between the nines with someone. Let's talk about the tour returning a little bit. Right now, we're saying Colonial, which is good regionally for you because that's not very far. So we got Colonial, then we got Head. What are your thoughts right now? Kind of when will you start kind of ramping up and really getting yourself ready and kind of believing that this is really what's going to happen?
Yeah, I mean, right now, my coach and I have just been trying, let's keep going and practicing like we're playing next week. So really just trying to maintain that structure and just knowing that it's going to be here sooner than you think. You don't want to get it 2 weeks out and be like, oh man, I really need to get my game right. Then you're behind the 8 ball already. So really just trying to continue to get better in certain areas. Just looking forward to that June date.
And in terms of, we've missed a lot of sporting events since this whole thing started. What sports have you missed the most kind of so far?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'd say I'm more of a football fan really than anything. So
yeah,
fall sports aren't really here yet, but I don't know. I would say I always lean towards football. So I'm really hopeful that it won't be as much affected as these spring sports have been.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's interesting just seeing some of the teams, even with their off-season camps, they're starting like virtual Zoom meetings like we're doing now to basically like install plays and go over stuff. I think it's going to be interesting to see who shows up in shape and who doesn't. Because, if you're kind of stuck and you're not as motivated and you need the coaches to kind of put you through it all summer, this could be the year you kind of suffer. I also think for rookies, it'll be tough because if we don't have true training camps or watered down versions of that, how do you, I mean, luckily for me, Tua probably already knows the offense, but for those, other rookies, it's going to be a little bit tough. But like, your running back, Edwards-Helaire, who went to Kansas City. I mean, what an awesome opportunity for him to step into a great offense. But that's a lot to learn to kind of get going. I think that'll be interesting to see.
Mm-hmm.
And then for me, I'm a huge baseball fan. So this is, the time of year, like I look at my ballpark app and thinking, oh, we should be at the Padres should be hosting the White Sox coming up this weekend, minor league play, and we're not there and stuff like that. Just love getting out to the ballpark. So hopefully we'll start to see a little bit of a return to this stuff relatively soon.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure. All right, Sam. Last tally, the mustache, it's gaining traction. It's only losing 45 to 55. So I'll tell you what, we'll go in there and we'll just, me and you click yes about 30 to 100 times, and we'll knock it over the top because I'm a fan. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little jealous, but maybe during the Cult Nose podcast, I'll work on some facial hair, see what I can try to pull off.
There you go. You got some time. So
Yeah, exactly. All right. Sam Burns, thanks so much for joining us on the Callaway Golf Podcast. Where can people follow you online so they can keep track of your comings and goings?
Yeah, I'm not too much involved on social media, but Instagram and Twitter, I guess, is the best way. So I'll try to do a better job at that. But yeah, thank you guys for having me. That was fun. I really enjoyed it.
All right, that's Sam Burns on the Callaway Golf Podcast. Again, listen to the Fitting Room with Nate and Dave and Dylan Fratelli. And don't forget, check out Girls in Golf. They have Madeline Sagstrom this week. And then Thursday, I will sit here quietly as Colt Knost and Kelly Craft solve the world's problems. So can't wait for that one. Thanks so much for listening. Thanks so much for watching. And we will see you Thursday on the Callaway Golf Podcast. And we should be good. Thank you, Sam, so much.
Perfect. Enjoyed it.
Really appreciate it. Stay safe, man.
All right, we'll do it.
All right, see you down the road.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Thanks.
See you, Jen.
Bye.